भारत सरकार नागालैंड में हुई इस दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना पर अत्यंत खेद व्यक्त करती है और मृतकों के परिवारों के प्रति गहरी संवेदना व्यक्त करती है।
Welcome back, Vicky. Things are like really boiling up, especially in India. And the Nagaland incident happened like on Sunday. Around 13 people, 14 people. There was another killing on the when they basically started protesting outside the army camp, and there was a lot of vandalization also happened in the Assam rifles camp. So how overall you see, because everybody has clearly said this thing. Even the Home Minister came out and he said that this was a wrong intel happened. How does this kind of a big blunder happen?
Right. Firstly, extremely unfortunate incident, and the loss of civilian lives. That is very, very unfortunate, and of course, everybody is, condemned it and said it's a very regrettable incident that has happened. But the thing is, see, there are many probes. The army will probe, and there's going to be an SIT probe also into this. Okay, and now the Naga people are insisting that two of their own also should be part of that. A commission of inquiry, whichever is going to look into it. So it stands like that. But basically, if you look at it very preliminarily, it looks like it was a wrong intelligence, which there was intel that there were insurgents out there, but I don't think it was actionable, and that's why this operation got botched up and went wrong, actually. So that's how I see it. And also, the terrorists had 1.5 months back, they had ambushed an army party in which a colonel, his wife, and 4 others were this one. So army was also under a lot of pressure, basically, to act against insurgency, and you have to send a message, and you can't let such things happen. And that's why I think it got a bit hurried, and that's why the intel reading could have gone wrong. That's what I'm getting to hear.
Yeah, and what, according to the initial FIR that has been filed by the police over there in the Moon district, also says that the army didn't ask for any police guards or police help in terms of identifying, or in terms of talking to these people, because none of these people either speak Hindi, either speak English. They only speak their native language. So there could be also that barrier between the army and the locals, and that is why maybe and of course, once you see the army, the locals' tendency is to run away from them. So that is also one big reason, I think, that played out there in terms of why this whole operation went haywire.
Yes, I mean, if you see the operations which take place in Jammu and Kashmir, Akash, they were highly successful operations. That is one. And that is a lot to do with the fact is that, they always work with the local police, one. Okay, because the best possible intelligence in a state is always available with the local police, one. As the comfort in the speaking the local language, one. And, they know people on a, man-to-man basis. Okay, one. Like, if you take the case of Jammu Kashmir, that a Jammu Kashmir cop can tell you which terrorist is hiding where. It's that deeply penetrated intelligence. So when you work alongside this one, what is that, with the local police, there's always a better chance that the intel is, the intel is better and the operation goes on well. But there's also another flip side to also working with the local police, which there was a problem in Jammu Kashmir some time back, is that, the good chance of the information leaking out. One, right. Considering, that's, he's one among our own or something, information leaking out. Okay? That is also one issue. But it's always better, to sensitize the police, take a group of very trusted people, who know the locals, the local language, and then go in for an operation like this.
Correct. Very true. What you said is absolutely correct, Vicky. Taking help from the locals, of course, there is always a flip side to it. That you don't know that which side these guys are at. Maybe that there might be intel leaking or something like that. That happens. But yeah, very important when you are dealing with cases, especially in the Northeast, where of course most of the people that are in the army are not from that kind of an area. So that is also one of the biggest issue that I think the army has to deal with, be it the paramilitary forces, be it the any other force. So how does now this kind of an incident? So first of all, there was a lack of trust between the army and the locals, and now this kind of an incident happens. So what do you think would be the way forward, especially to gain the trust of these people? Because of course the problem with China is also there, and we know that how China will use Myanmar in terms of border insurgency.
See, one thing is that I just hope it does not have an impact on the Naga peace talks. That which has been painstakingly difficult. This one, it has been very, very difficult for the Naga people as well as the government to hit a common ground on that. That is one. So that has to be dealt with better. One, and the thing is, the only way to gain back the trust and make sure that this doesn't go out of hand is like everything that the Home Minister has promised, everything the army has promised, everything the local government has this one promised. You'll have to investigate it fast, and whoever is responsible for it will have to go through what the law has to offer. And if it is a very it should be handled very genuinely, etc. That kind of thing. If those people feel that unnecessarily trying to protect someone, then the mistrust could grow further. So a quick investigation, and whatever the result is, if you act upon it, I mean, then that is going to send out a very loud and proper message to these people who have lost their people out there.
So yeah, moving on, Vicky. Now that at least five tribal bodies in Nagaland have also asked the government to reconsider to remove ASPA in the region. So what's your take on that? Will the government act upon this, or it would be like too early to say anything about what the government's next move will be, especially with ASPA?
I think in the Armed Forces, this one Special Powers Act, I don't think anything immediately. See, this has been a demand for a long time, to take out ASPA from these places. But I don't think in the security point of view, it is exactly this one. What is that? The wisest thing to do at this moment. One, considering the borders that we share out there. One, and considering the insurgency and considering how they operate out of the Myanmar forests, etc., and all that. So every time you can't keep going for approval, etc. Sometimes you'll have to act. The only thing I would say is that you have this special act in force, but I think it would be okay to have a little more safeguards so that you don't have incidents like this which happen. So taking out ASPA, I don't think is an option that even the government would consider immediately. I think the first thing they would consider is bring whoever has done wrong to book and put out a proper investigation.
Correct. And but I just want to ask you, because like we have seen the workings of the army through and throughout, but it has never been this quick in in coming out with a statement saying, oh yes, it was a goof up on our side. So they will take a day or two, even when the Pathankot thing happened, and when our boys went that side, they did the surgical strike, they came back. Even after that, even after a day or two, the army came out and they said, yes, we did a surgical strike in those areas. So what do you think? What was the hurry? Was the army, as you said, they were actually under pressure in terms of what happened in Chuchanpur in Manipur a month back? So were they under pressure to just wrap up this thing? The mess has happened. Don't want to get it more spilled out. So was that the reason, or was there some reason they just came out and just said, okay, yes, it was a botched operation?
See, the thing is, when the army gives out a statement, an official statement, like what we saw after even Balakot, that is the Indian Air Force statement, or even after Pathankot, this one, or even after the surgical strike. See, it's a very well thought out, measured statements. It is not like too speculative in nature. But the thing here is that the statement came out very soon, and they actually condemned what happened, and then they said it was a very regrettable incident. See, that's one thing. because I know that they also realize that something did go wrong there, and this is an internal issue. One thing it could have, it can flare up very, very badly or something like that. But in the first statement also of the Indian Army, it's like they've only condemned the incident, but they've not jumped to any conclusions and said this happened, that happened, etc. That is one thing. They have said that this will be probed at the highest level, and action will be taken if the need be against the person who is responsible for this watch out.
Right, right. And what do you think that the political sphere will be on like this? Because like the yesterday Home Minister came and he in both the houses he told that what has happened and it was definitely a watch on the intelligence. But soon after that, opposition walked out from the house and they said it was just watered down with the kind of a thing that the Home Minister just said. So, what do you think are the political ramifications will it be for the government and especially for the government in Nagaland now?
See, obviously, Akash, that when the Home Minister made the statement that incident was just, hardly 48 hours old. That is one. Okay, one thing. It is really impossible to come to any conclusion about what exactly went wrong out there in such a short span of time. There are multiple agencies which are looking at it. There's a special investigation team, and then there is an inquiry commission. The army themselves are looking into it or something like that. So I think the statement, I think the opposition, asking for more or something like that, I don't think, Home Minister would have been in a position to say anything more because there are hardly any details out. But it was very important to make a statement to say that the government's, to show what the government's intent is, to, say that something wrong has happened and it is regretted and it will be probed. And so when the probe details are available, then of course, you will get all the details and what action is going to be taken against whoever has done whatever wrong out there. So I think I thought it was a little too hurried to expect the Home Minister to say too much on this.
Correct, correct. And in the end, what do you think would be the outcome of this thing? The whole incident that has happened, especially. So, what would be its ramification in that particular area? What do you think?
As I said, Akash, it depends on how these probes go on and how what kind of action is taken and how soon and how well will you regain the trust of those people out there who've lost their people out there. So it would all depend on that. I mean, it's like it's best not politicized, that issue. Okay, one thing, because it goes beyond politics. That is one thing. Nobody's done this intentionally. It was a complete mistake, prima facie, again, I would say, because we don't have the probe details as yet. So, as I said, the action is what is going to make all the difference, because at least then the people will say that they're serious about acting against someone could have possibly done something wrong. So that would be the final thing I would have to say is that it all depends on how you handle how you deal with the whole issue henceforth.
Correct. Well. On that note, thank you very much, Vicky, for coming and discussing this whole issue with us. And of course, we'll keep on meeting on this issue because I think it is not. The Home Minister said that within 30 days, the SIT will definitely come out with its report. And of course, Army is also probing it, and the Nagaland Special Crime Police is also probing this whole incident that has happened. So let's hope that nothing untowards happen post this. Thank you very much once again, Vicky.